plant disease classification. If you see that if you want to classify the plant diseases, and I tell you first you should know about this, the pathogens, and then how it attacks, and how the various parts which is attacked by the pathogens. And the first you should know that how the diseases are formed. This we call them as a disease triangle. First one is host and the pathogen and the environment. First, we should have this susceptible host and then virulent pathogen and favorable environment which contribute for the disease development. And if the three things are goes together, then we will find the establishment of diseases. So the diseases are caused by two factors, abiotic factors and abiotic factors. And if you see that abiotic factors, fungi, bacteria, mycoplasma, and then virus, viroids. And if you see that a fungi which causes more than 70% of the common diseases and rest by the bacteria and viruses, and even some extent by the nematodes. And abiotic factors such as temperature, low temperature, high temperature, water, excess water, less water, frost, hail, toxic substances, various mineral deficiencies or these pollutions, and so on. And if you see the types of diseases, the pathogens which attacks the foliar parts of the leaf, that we call them as foliar diseases, and stem diseases which attacks the stem parts, and then some of them are trunk, and some pathogens attacks the roots, and some of them are ceiling and ceiling diseases, and some it attacks the fruits and flower. You see that this is the plant, and you can see this the system which causes the pathogen causes various produces various symptoms on the stems and the crown area, and then on of course the leaves, leaf spots, blight, and so on. And if you see on the fruits, fruit rot, fruit spot, concentric rings, and so on, and you can see there's a whole plant wilt and so on. On the root you will find this infection on the roots, degradation or rotting, and so on. Now, to classify these diseases based on the plant parts affected, number one is localized diseases, is affecting only the plant part, okay, maybe the specific part. And the next one is systemic diseases affecting the entire plants. The first one is on the leaf and on the fruits and the flower and the stem. It's localized. And the systemic disease means when the pathogen starts attacking them, it spreads to the entire plant. Say, for example, viral diseases. If it is attacking them and it starts attacking the entire plant, and based on the symptom rust, a small raised pustules and the smuts, mass of powdery spores, and the wilts, the entire plant's wilting. And the next one is blight, and the cankers, and the mildews, and the rods, and damping off, and dieback. Plants will die back, and these all is based on the symptom. Based on the host plant, we can classify disease. Say, for example, field crops and oil crops, groundnut, castor, sesame, oil crops, fruit crops, apple, orange, and vegetable crops, cabbage, tomato, and so on, timber crops, sandal, teak, and medicinal crops, aloe vera, and so on, and the plantation crops like rubber, tea, and so on. So based on the host plant, we can classify, and then based on their occurrence, say for example, endemic diseases. So endemic diseases are the diseases which are more prevalent on a particular locality or a region. It will appear year after year. It's so specific in that region that we call them as endemic diseases. And the next one is epidemic or epiphytotic diseases. You can say this epidemic, it outbreak of outbreak of this disease throughout the world. And the classical example is late blight of potato. And the sporadic diseases which are occur at irregular interval, some of the nursery diseases and so on. Okay, so this is a sporadic disease. And based on their causes, infectious diseases, fungal diseases, bacterial diseases, viral diseases. So this we call them as infectious diseases. Once if the plants get infected, it may spread to the another plant that we call them as infectious diseases. The another one is non-infectious diseases caused by environment factors, high rainfall, wind, sometimes sun scour, hail and storm, excess relative humidity, high soil moisture, and so on, and pollutions and nutrition deficiency. All we call them as non-infectious disease. Thank you.